All right, hi, I'm Josh with Industrial Compressor Solutions, and I'm here with Aaron. We're working to show you how to change a basket style separator on a rotary screw compressor. We have already removed all the piping, tubing, and electrical from the top of the separator. We blocked it out, tagged it out. We've de-energized it from air and electrical. We have removed the lid, removed the separator element, and inspected it. And now we want to prep the job and get ready to put this back together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the surface. We're going to clean the surface. I usually like to use a wire wheel, which we've already done. Once that's done, we're going to make sure that surface is nice and clean. Now remember, we're going to do the same thing here, but we have to be very careful not to put anything into the system here. Yep. After both of those spaces are clean, a lot of people will put oil in here if the oil change is being done at the same time. This is not a perfect solution, but if you are going to fill oil, concern yourself with the fill point and don't fill past that. Some people like to overfill with an understanding that as it circulates, they'll make up for lost oil. It's not a good idea. Don't overfill the oil. And if you're not familiar with where the fill point is, then wait and fill the oil through the oil fill plug and do it accordance to the manual. If that's done, we're going to be inspecting the bolts and the bolt holes. We want to make sure they're clean. The bolt should thread all the way down into the hole nicely. If it doesn't, grab a die nut and clean off the bolt. You can run a bottom tap, the right size bottom tap, through these holes, clean out any gunk. Make sure your surfaces are clean and your bolts are clean as well. The next thing we want to do is we want to use anti-seize. I use a copper-based anti-seize, but there are a couple different kinds. But using anti-seize is going to make it so the person who comes after you is still able to do it successfully. Now, anti-seize will travel a mile. In fact, I think I still have anti-seize from the last time I did a service on my gloves. But we really need to just be where the separator basket is going to touch the lid. So go ahead and we're going to wipe a really thin layer. You really want to be careful. You scrape it against the side of the can, because when this stuff starts moving, it goes everywhere. So all right, and we're also going to do the face. And once again, we're going to cover where the basket is going to touch . If you want to know what happens if you don't use anti-seize, if the person hadn't used anti-seize before us, we'd still be scraping the lid and the sump housing. We'd still be scraping gasket off. Lastly, for each one of the bolts, We're going to put a dab just like that. And when we do that, it will run up those threads and make it where we can get the threads off next time we need to open it up. All right, so we've cleaned and polished the face, the lid. We've anti-seized both. We've anti-seized the bolts. Now we're going to do an inspection of the new separator element. There's a couple things that we want to be concerned of. When we inspect it, if there's anything obviously broken, missing, that would be step one. But as long as the filter seems to be in good condition, we want to check if there's gaskets, because a lot of times there's O-rings. But if there's gaskets, we want to look for a staple on each side. We see one right there and one right there. That allows us to be grounded across the separator. Do not take the staples out. Bad things happen to everybody. Once we've inspected the separator, we've prepped the lid, we've prepped the basket, we've prepped the bolts, and we've added oil if we are planning to do so. We are ready to start putting this back together. As always, thank you very much for watching our videos.